No, I'm not gonna plug in my computer. We're in a car park. Where am I gonna plug it into?
It's already giving us a warning.
Yeah, and that's our intro. Hey guys, it's Amesh,
And I'm Asuva.
and today we're reviewing
Beyonce Renaissance.
She's back.
She's back. She's 40. And this is... I know. I know. And like, she's reinventing herself, I think, with this one.
Yeah, reinventing herself.
New era?
New era.
Renaissance means rebirth in
Yeah.
French, apparently.
I think this album's very different to her previous albums.
Yeah. This is a dance album.
This is a dance album.
This is like...
This is...
when the first single came out, which by the way I was very underwhelmed by.
Yeah.
And it's probably still one of the only two skips on the album for me.
But it works in the album.
Yeah, it works a lot better in the context of the
Yeah.
album, I'll give it that.
When you just drop a house tune out of nowhere, you're always
Yeah.
gonna get the, why is she doing a house track for?
Yeah.
Oh my god, Beyonce brought house back. No, house has been here since forever.
Yeah. But the thing is, she chose to sample, was it Show Me Love?
Yeah.
Which is, it's so
a
big.
major.
And like, even I'm not that into house, but like, even I
Even
I'm
I
sick of
know,
that song. So it was a bit,
Interesting choice.
but no,
Well, she's trying to reinvent herself by using some old stuff.
yeah, which she definitely kind of does in this album. She pulls from, but it's a dance album. She pulls from techno, she pulls from house, she pulls from Afrobeats, reggaeton, the usual sort of hip hop R&B. She has like some weird Yeezus-y kind of stuff towards
Yeah,
the
not
end.
gonna lie, the second half of this album, and in my opinion, I think this is actually an unofficial double album. And there's definitely a vibe switch.
Really?
Kendrick, what you doing, bro? Shots fired. I think there's a definite point where the vibe switches
Yeah,
and the dance mix stops in this album.
it's really interesting because I after Lemonade, I was kind of like, where's she gonna go? Because with Lemonade and like, it's Beyonce, she's such a cult of personality. Like,
There was
Beyonce is such a big part of the iconography. Like, she's put no visuals out for this album so
Yeah.
far, and like that's such a big part of her music.
Yeah.
And she's not done any, like, it's so different in that rollout way.
Well, this is part one album, right? There's another,
Yeah, there's gonna be a part 2 and a
Part
part
two.
3.
It's no
Why do you
use.
think it's a double album?
literally because of that vibe switch in the middle.
Which vibe switch?
I think Church Girl is where the vibe switch starts.
Oh, is
Because
it?
like up until then, so the first track was I'm That Girl.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like that track.
is that? It just reggaeton sets the vibe.
I just hate that kind of, I hate the sample. I think it overpowers the vocals and
Yeah.
there's just too much of a contrast to me. Like, the first time I listened to it, I was like, nah.
I like the bit where she goes, let the
But-
beat
but
in, and the
that's-
beat comes in.
But then that's further along in the track.
Yeah,
I think by then you've lost me. And
I
like,
see.
it's the usual thing. It's grown to me now. It's just like when I first listened to it, I was like, oh, is this the album I'm
Yeah.
gonna be prepared for? But then the second track, Cozy, kicks in. I'm like, oh yeah, okay,
Cozy.
this is the album I want.
Yeah.
Such a vibe. I mean, it just works. Like, and I think for me, that's where this dance mix or dance party starts. And from then, it's just, and I love it when artists do that. It's just seamless transitions from one track to the other.
Oh, this album's seamless.
Literally.
No seams. But like, it feels like a big DJ set that's just done by...
You could literally play the first 6 tracks at B1
Yeah.
and it would just smash, innit? Like, this is straight up. If you were a lazy DJ, do this. Literally just grab the first half of our album.
And
You've
like,
got all the royalties.
yeah, like some tracks, like Energy comes off the end of, is it Cuff It?
Yeah.
And it kind of feels like an extension of it at first.
Another
and
one of my
then
favorite tracks. Cuff It.
Theme comes in with the Afrobeats vibe. Like, it just feels like a specially curated DJ set. Like, this whole album feels like this euphoric dance party. Like, it feels very post-COVID, you know?
It's a celebration. It's a celebration, like welcome back to life, welcome back to everything.
Welcome
So
back
much-
to the hanky-panky.
Literally, it's
She's
like,
doing a lot of the hanky-panky.
but I think those are two, for me, the double album, those are two feels. It's like, the first half is this dance mix, you're at the club, and second half is like, after the club. Tracks like, you know, Church Girl, okay, like Plastic After Sober,
Yeah.
so smooth.
Yeah.
Virgo,
Oh yeah, that
Sexy.
one. Yeah.
that track is sexy.
Yeah, that's my favorite track. Yeah, that's my favorite track. The beat is so dense. Like, it makes me feel, it's so enveloping. Like, there's those little twangy guitars, there's a bass guitar, there's a beat. One, like, where you started is not where you are by the end. Like, it has so many phases, has little things, and like by the end I'm just there like, you're the love of my life. Like, I'm fully ascending.
It takes you there, innit? It takes you there.
But it's just like, this album has over 100 songwriters on it. 100 people credited, and it's because of how many like, and I think like you can tell, but in a good way. Like even though it's so cohesive, it's so varied at the same time. It feels like they brought in so many sounds and so many people and sampled so many people. So a lot of the songwriters, obviously the sample she pulls from.
Yeah.
And like I think Virgo is one of those things where it's just sort of like there's so many phases, it's so dense. Like every time I listen to it, I just catch some random ass sound that I've not heard of before,
which I like. But I think on that point as well, for me the album drops points because I don't think it's as pulling of different sounds as you're putting it out to be. I feel like through a lot of it I'm just like I could skip these tracks because they kind of sound the same, especially I think in the latter half. Like even though it's only an hour,
there's like a little afro run.
Yeah, even
latter half.
Like it's an hour running album, but it's got a lot more tracks than it's got a lot of tracks in it to squeeze into that small amount of time. Where it's just then it's too saturated and then you're losing the quality. Like I'm glad it's a short run time, but then that doesn't mean make smaller tracks and put them in. Yeah,
I mean for me it's a lot of the tracks maybe I wouldn't listen to individually, but because they're part of the same vibe,
the context of the album,
momentum keeps it going.
Okay.
But what I mean is like one track sort of like afro, one track sort of like I said, house,
the trappy and the house vibe.
Yeah, so even though she pulls from different sort of genres, it's still dance.
Celebration of your form.
Yeah, exactly.
Of like, be who you are.
It's self-actualization.
Yeah. Be comfortable in your skin. Yeah. You're worth it. Like all good, amazing points. Yeah. As you should be. What do you think of the track? Is it The Energy?
Yeah, the one with Beam.
Yeah.
It's like the first Afrobeat.
Well, I should say which version of it.
I mean, for things like there's two different things that she's changed. Right, the keyless one, keyless. I'm really embarrassed I don't know how to say her name because I've listened to that song so many times. But
that one,
she, I feel like she took the easy way out. She just took her off. Her voice is barely in it. Instead of just being like, she should have been like, she could have just made like a statement being like, yeah, she should have been paid, blah blah blah. Yeah. Like, but that would have like rocked the boat. Yeah. That's not. It's just easier just for her to like
take it off.
Yeah, because she's got a very like clean image. Yeah. Even though she's like
she's Switzerland. Or she's not even that. She's
not like Instagram Live or Twitter or anything. Yeah. Like she's very like
she's beyond. Her and Jay-Z, they kind of elevate themselves in the space of music where she's like
they don't deal with that.
They don't deal with like the commoners.
Literally.
Everyday bullshit of like Instagram and social media and like they are so hip hop royalty. Yeah,
so it's kind of what I expected from her. I guess a bit disappointing considering like
deal with it behind closed doors.
Yeah, how she's like all about like Jay-Z's like Tidal, own all your masters, and then like maybe I'll just take you off the song instead.
Yeah.
With the slur, I think.
With the slur, it's interesting because there's previous tracks because this opened the floodgates in terms of like, there's some other tracks where she's name dropped people and they've just realized like, why did you name drop me? Like it's caused them backlash. So like, is the politician?
I guess it's just like how willing you are to be with the backlash. Like with her, she just wants as minimal backlash as possible. It's part of her image to be like that.
I think what she done was okay. It's this ability to kind of learn from your mistakes. So like if I, for example, to a lesser scale, if I drop something on social media and I did a caption where it says I wrote a caption and then later found out during the same day like, oh my god, I can't say this, or like this hurts a lot of people. It hurts a lot of people. I have the opportunity, I have the window to. I know people have seen it, but to go in and change it. Then again, I think there's the key word is window there. So I think after you've released something that's been like X amount of time, at that point, I think there's little point taking something back, changing it, putting it out there. I think that's the point where you can be like, hey, I made a mistake there. I won't do this kind of. I now
you go back to like songs 10 years ago. Yeah. Because people are like, oh, I just found out about Eminem.
Yeah.
They're just
exactly. Like, and there's so many other artists that do so many different things. But it's just for me, it's just a window of opportunity. If you have the opportunity,
I think it's okay to do it like if there's immediate backlash.
Yeah. If you have the opportunity to change it there and then, go for it. But if it's been like 10 years since you dropped the track, you said something there which is inappropriate now. Things change in it. The key point is like, is just owning up to it and saying like, you're sorry. And I think she did apologize for that Monica Lewinsky all of my dress thing.
Is it?
I think she did. Hopefully she did. That's their problem.
What did you think about the track Pure Honey? That's one of my favorite tracks.
The second half.
Yeah.
She does what she needs to do in that track, innit?
Yeah.
She knows what she's doing.
Like I like how it starts off like this with this really aggressive like bass.
Get your grind.
It's like really seductive.
Yeah.
And, like it feels like I'm in this underground basement club.
Yeah.
Like there's just everyone's doing random sort
This
of
what I'm
white
saying, like,
powder drugs.
This is like the second half is after the main club, innit? It's the after party.
And then it changes to when that sample comes in, it literally just feels like, again, euphoria ascending. It feels like a giant person picked up the club and slowly moved it up to the penthouse. And then they trumpeters come in, and then I just hear, Miss Honey, Miss Honey. And I'm just, and again, I found out that was another sample from another queer artist.
RuPaul Drag Race is going to get a lot of good like songs next season.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But it's cool that she's like it seems to be genuine from my very limited knowledge of the sort of genre.
It'd be interesting to see what or hear what a true house head has to say. Like, yeah, I think overall the album paces well, but there are some tracks which I would skip.
For me, it's Break My Soul, and like I said, it works better in the context of the album, but it's still not enough. And Plastic, Off Your Sofa,
you skip that?
I skipped that because at first it's like, oh nice, a breather from like the first couple of tracks.
Yeah.
But
it's too smooth.
It's a bit too smooth, and like the beat isn't like as kind of, it doesn't evolve like a lot of the other tracks, like Pure Honey, like Burger's Groove, like Heated, like it just kind of stays the same. And it
you reckon that's what it's there for though?
It's there for too long then.
Yeah, you're there for too long.
You gotta leave. Yeah, it's gotta leave. Like
could be placed later on in the album.
Yeah.
Or your opinion, taken out of the album.
Taken out of the
Yeah, if you're going for like, hey, this is a dance album, which you know she hasn't actually said.
Yeah, like I appreciate the whole, oh, you're being yourself around me, you know.
Yeah.
It is a bit weird that she's using the plastic off your sofa metaphor while being a billionaire. Like, but you know.
So you say rich. So what would you say your favorite tracks are?
Burger's Groove, that song literally puts me in a trance. It's literally like listening to a beach house song for me. Like I literally just go to like another place and I'm like, oh, the song is over. And I like Pure Honey. He goes, yummy. America's Got a Problem.
Oh yeah.
That song literally sounds like Metal Mario from Mario 64 at the start. And it sounds like some old breakdance song. But I just love the way it's like, roll with them goons.
Yeah. I know, I like Cozy. I mean, that's the start of the album.
Okay.
It's the start of the dance mix. Cuff It.
Cozy's the one where it goes, I'm swaggy.
Yeah, so where she has the accent switch as well, which is like, she goes to like a British accent. Church Girl for me is a beautiful track.
Oh, no ID on that sample. That sample's glorious.
So she sampled this gospel track in it for the main bit. Oh yeah, mate. The trappiness of it is just like
the drums are so like you said, aggressive, like, and like it just works with like sort of the gospel vibe. And it's very much like, we've come to the other side, and like, and it's like, but then at the same time the drums maybe just want like
grimy as well.
Yeah, just make me wanna drop it like a 30.
Yeah, drop it like a 30. Drop it like. And the Move, I think it just Move and Heated. Even with the rewrite, you don't really notice it, but like, it has to be said throughout the album. Probably why we haven't said it over and over again, but just Beyonce's vocals in it. Like, you could literally just have an acoustic album with her.
Yeah, her vocals are really nice. Even like, for example, in Church Girl, there's one point where like
it was just her.
It's just her vocals, and it loops the vocal, and then she sings on top of that.
Yeah,
and that's really good.
So I think that's why when you're looking at Beyonce album, you have to take. Her vocal's gonna be 10-10 anyway. It's gonna be 11-10, so you gotta take that out. So you gotta take. So she's
good at this, so let's ignore it.
Yeah, like you gotta. You gotta base some other stuff. So what else is brought to the album? Yeah, I think that's definitely influenced how I've rated the album in the end.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10 because her vocals are amazing. But for me, it's just like because of that poor start, and there's some tracks I'd want to skip and. I can listen to this album, but it's just like it elevates me, but it doesn't kind of bring it doesn't challenge me too much. Like it does Beyonce, and it does Beyonce really well, but it doesn't really challenge me too much.
Okay.
So what I expect from Beyonce album, it's quite different from the other albums, but it's just, I just wanted something. I wanted the shock factor, and it didn't really shock me. Okay. It's just a really, really nice album.
This album's grown on me a lot. So when I came out, I kind of listened to it, and before we sort of agreed to do this review, I kind of thought I was done going back to it. But it's grown on me a lot, and now it's sort of probably my album of the summer at the moment.
Nice.
Because it's very easy to just put on.
I think that's the issue, not the issue, but I think that's the difference with me. I haven't revisited it that much. Like, for the purpose of this, I've listened to it like 3 more times.
Yeah.
I just haven't had the reason or like made the time to listen to it more.
Yeah, I will say I was very like, not put off, but I was like, because I'm coming from Lemonade, which is so personal, to this, which is like, she's still very much like the centerpiece.
She's personal, but like this is talking to a more general.
Yeah, and it's like she's only talking about really one thing.
Having fun.
Yeah, and she's like,
celebrate. It's a celebration.
Can I sit on top of you?
It's a celebration album.
Yeah, literally.
I guess because she's trying to reinvent herself from that previous album spree of hers, like Lemonade and stuff.
Yeah, she's pulling from a different space.
Yeah.
And it's grown on me in that sense.
I don't just hate Jay-Z.
Yeah, literally. Oh no, in this album, she likes
Jay-Z.
She likes
Jay-Z. She likes Jay-Z. My G, she likes it.
Definitely.
You're in.
So it's grown on me in that aspect. I appreciate, and I feel like it has challenged me in the sense that it's made me dig into the samples and stuff. I've maybe sort of go back and dig into some genres that I may have not really gone into as much. It's very cohesive. I do think like individually though, the tracks may not have like the bangers like on the level like, I don't know, like a Formation or something like that. But she's gone for something else. She's gone for more of an album experience.
Yeah, which I rate.
Yeah.
Like just it gets bonus points for the seamlessness of it.
Yeah. Like not all the tracks here, like there are a few skips for me. So I really like what she's done with it. I'm interested to see where Act 2 and 3 go. I don't know if she'll do the same thing or she'll switch it up even more. But I would probably go 7.5 for now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I thought the way you handed it up, I thought you'd be going higher.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just because like the good tracks are really good, but the other tracks I feel like are carried by the album rather than themselves. Like it's great. It's much greater than the sum of its parts, I feel. No?
Beyonce, Renaissance, forever.